How many Stanley Cups can Team Sweden win in a row? Today, we find out, with the goal of at least winning 3 cups in a row. Year number 1, we finished with a 51-24-7 record, earning 109 points and finishing first in our division. But not first in the league, that honor would go to the Boston Bruins, who finished 52-22-8, earning 112 points. We finished second in the entire league. Gabriel Landeskog led our entire team in points with 80, while our goal scoring leader was William Nylander, who dropped 29. Looking at goalies, Markstrom had 43 wins, 3 shutouts, a 913 save percentage, and a 2.43 goals against average, while Robin Lehner in the backup position had 8 wins, no shutouts, and a 908 save percentage, a 2.56 goals against average. Connor McDavid led the entire league in points with 93, while Alex Ovechkin led the entire league in goals with 60, the closest to him being Nikita Kucherov at 47. In terms of goaltending, Markstrom's 43 wins tied him with Campbell for top of the league in wins, with Markstrom having slightly better stats, Jack Campbell having a 910 save percentage, and a 2.68 goals against average, but he did beat him in shutouts, having 5. In the first round of the playoffs, we have the pleasure of playing the Anaheim Ducks. Should be a free round. And that's exactly what it is, as we beat the Ducks in 5 games. Round number 2, we're going to have to sweat a little bit harder. We're facing the Colorado Avalanche, but it ends up being an easier victory than Anaheim, as we beat them in 4 games, completing the sweep. And in the conference finals, we face the Vegas Golden Knights. Our toughest challenge yet, only beating them in 6 games, but we still get the job done to move on to the Stanley Cup Finals, where we face the Boston Bruins. And we have a Game 7 on our hands. We're gonna go to the Fantasy Sim broadcast. Simming the first period, we take a 2-1 lead over Boston. Hedman and Forsberg scoring, Marchand scoring for them. Second period, we're still up, this time 3-2. Krejci and Forsberg getting the goals. And now at 8 times speed, we watch the game, hoping to be victorious, hoping to lift the Stanley Cup. We just can't let them score, or we have to score more than they do in this period, which, looking at it, it's going to be a shutout period that no one's going to complain about. And with the clock striking 0, Team Sweden are your Stanley Cup champions. When we beat Boston in 7 games, here's a look at the entire playoff tree. Philip Forsberg and William Nylander tied to lead our team in playoff points with 18, while it was Philip Forsberg who led the team in goals with 8. Markstrom stood his ground, a very good at 930 save percentage at 2.05 goals against average, as well as 2 shutouts, but we did play Robin Lehner for 1 game. He won in overtime with a 967 save percentage and 0.93 goals against average. At least I'm assuming he won in overtime, because he did only play 1 game and he played 64 minutes. In terms of the entire league, it was Bergeron and Krejci who led in points with 22, while in goals it was Marchand and Pastrnak who led with 9. Markstrom and Ullmark tying for 15 wins in the playoffs, but it was Markstrom's stats who went above and beyond, pushing us to the cup. In terms of awards, our team won the Conn Smythe with Philip Forsberg. Year number 2, we have a far less impressive performance. 44 wins, 33 losses, and 5 shootout/overtime losses, earning 93 points, finishing 5th in our division. And it would be the Carolina Hurricanes who led the entire league with a 52-24-6 record, 110 points earned, while we have to settle for 13th. And Gabriel Landeskog led our team once again in points, this time with 60, and it was Philip Forsberg who led the team in goals with 28. Goaltending, 33 wins for Markstrom with 3 shutouts, a 911 save percentage, and a 2.52 goals against average, while in the backup position, Lehner won 11 games, also getting 3 shutouts, a 906 save percentage with a 2.67 goals against average. McDavid once again on top, this time finishing with 108 points to lead the league. And Ovechkin is also once again on top, this time scoring 53 goals. It would be Tristan Jarry who led the league in wins, dropping 43 wins, 8 shutouts, a 924 save percentage with a 2.31 goals against average. Last season we swept Colorado. Let's do it again, as we have to face them in the first round. And sadly, that's not what happens at all, as we lose to the Colorado Avalanche in 6 games. And to make matters even more upsetting, the Colorado Avalanche would move on all the way to win the Stanley Cup, beating the Ottawa Senators in 7 games. And looking at this, an even crazier fact is the fact that Ottawa had a Game 7 in every single one of their playoff series, only losing the last one. Well, not many stats to look at, as we only played the 1 series, but Zibanejad led our team in points with 6, while goals was a 3-way tie between Pettersson, Arvidsson, and Ekholm, all having 2. Markstrom didn't even play bad either. He had a 913 save percentage and a 2.35 goals against average, but still only winning 2 out of 6 games. The man, the myth, the legend, Claude Giroux carried the Ottawa Senators all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, leading the entire league in the playoffs with 28 points, as well as getting 2nd in playoff scoring with 13, but Mikko Rantanen would hold the title there, dropping 14 goals to lead the league. And Colorado loves to jump between Georgiev and Francouz for their starting goalies, at least in the game. Francouz is the one to play this season, as he finished with a 911 save percentage and a 2.72 goals against average, getting the 16 wins to hoist the Stanley Cup. And the awards, Art Ross and Hart Memorial Trophy, both going to Connor McDavid. Unsurprisingly, Cale Makar wins the James Norris, The Lady Byng also going to McDavid. Owen Power winning the Calder. Mikko Rantanen winning the Conn Smythe. Tristan Jarry gets the Vezina and the William M. Jennings. Bill Masterson going to Josh Morrissey. Frank J. Selke winner, Patrice Bergeron. Ted Lindsay, also Connor McDavid, and the Maurice Richard trophy will go to Alex Ovechkin. Well, since they lost so soon, I think it's only fair we give them a shot in the Eastern Conference where we lost in the West. In year number 1, we finished with a 45, 32, and 5 record, earning 95 points, tying us for 3rd in the division. Surprising Anaheim Duck performance as they are 1st in the entire league with a 49, 23, and 10 record. Philip Forsberg led our team in points with 67, while also leading our team in goals with 28. Val Markstrom's best season ever, 35 wins, 6 shutouts, a 9.07 save percentage, and a 2.63 goals against average, while Robin Lehner in the backup position had 10 wins, 1 shutout, a 9.12 save percentage, and a 2.56 goals against average. Ilya Samsonov was king of the league with 41 wins, 5 shutouts, a 9.18 save percentage, and a 2.50 goals against average. And Connor McDavid continues to dominate, 100 points on the dot, 1st in the entire league. This time getting a new goal scoring king, it would be Patrick Kane to lead the way with 57 goals. We faced the Washington Capitals in the 1st round. This is Team Sweden's last chance. They cannot afford any more losses, and Team Sweden sweeps Washington, no problems, move on to the 2nd round, where we face the Philadelphia Flyers. We beat the Flyers in 5 games to move on to the conference finals, where we face the Toronto Maple Leafs. And against Toronto, we have our 2nd game 7 of the video, and it's do or die for Team Sweden. 1st period, they do go up 1-0. William Nylander scoring on Samsonov, who was the best goalie in the regular season. No score in the 2nd period. So that means the 3rd period, everything is on the line, a 1-0 lead. Let's see what happens. Toronto gets a power play. They can't bury. And with 4 minutes remaining, it's still 1-0. They need a goal. They need an answer, but they can't find one. And they do score to make it 2-1, but it doesn't matter. Team Sweden moves on to the Stanley Cup Finals. We're not going to get this Stanley Cup in the East for free. We have to face the Edmonton Oilers. I hope you like Game 7s because we got another one against Edmonton in the Stanley Cup Final. And before I can even finish the intro of Game 7, Connor McDavid has already made it a 1-0 game. Let's sim the whole 1st period. They are up 2-1. McLeod getting their 2nd goal. Ekholm scoring for us. It was 4-1. We did make a comeback. Carlson and Zibanejad making it close. 1 period remaining. We're shooting them by 1 whole shot. Let's see what happens. What happens is Evander Kane scores immediately out the gate. Then Jan Mark scores. Unless we're doing the miracle performance of a life. Yeah, it's not happening. You know what, Edmonton? You can have the... Stop scoring. I'm trying to talk here. You're ruining everything. So we got Yamamoto, Puljujarvi, Jan Mark, and Kane all scoring within the first 7 minutes of the 3rd period. And just like that, Team Sweden loses in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals in their 1st year in the East. Elias Pettersson would lead our team in the playoffs in points with 22, while it would be Mr. Forsberg and Bratt who tie to lead in goals with 8. And Markstrom now playing his best hockey ever. Still doing pretty good. He had 3 shutouts, a 9.08 save percentage, and a 2.67 goals against average. Doing better than Lehner, who had an 8.75 save percentage with a 3.57 goals against average. Jack Campbell led his team all the way, 16 wins, a 9.08 save percentage, and a 2.68 goals against average. So almost the exact same stats as Markstrom, actually having a 0.1 worse goals against average. When it came to the entire league in points, Auston Matthews led with 38, while leading in goals with 24, McDavid being the closest with 17, and then the next closest was Nurse and Marner with 9. So a very big jump from 3rd to 2nd, and especially 3rd to 1st. And in terms of awards, our team won absolutely none, so we're not even gonna bother looking at them this time. How many Stanley Cups can Team Sweden win in a row? Apparently the answer is only 1, which is the same answer as it is for Team Canada, and they do have the same overall in the game, so I guess it kind of makes sense. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like to help spread it to more people. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.